For more on this, so we're now joined by the scientists researching this innovation, Dr. Zikhona Tywabi-Ngeva, and she joins us now via our video link. Dr. Zikhona, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Very interesting research that you have conducted, and one would say that, just looking at the model there, using pineapple leaves to purify water. How did you even discover this?
Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me, and welcome to all the viewers at home. Thank you for tuning in. I think you guys can see me from your side. Okay, so this project, it came about the fact that we were looking for sustainable material that we would have access to. And this material that we found access to, which is the waste, we looked at the pineapple leaves waste because we did a little bit of research to check in the Eastern Cape what type of waste, or rather which type of waste do we get access to. And we did discover that the pineapple waste is the one that we have access to, because the farming that basically does the pineapple production is only in Port Alfred, which is around 120 kilometers from Gqeberha. So for us, we looked at the sustainability, and we also looked at the type of that material and how we can best use it to solve the existing societal problems.
And maybe take us through the process, because someone is sitting at home and, they're asking themselves, how do you purify water using discarded pineapple leaves? Just take us through the process in which that purification takes place.
Okay. And again, I just want to make a disclaimer. So because we are in the process of patenting the technology, so we are not allowed to share more about the technology. But I'll just take you through the simple ways in which we have tried to use this technology. So what we did is we take the pineapple leaf fibers, and from the pineapple leaf fibers, we dry the pineapple leaf fibers. And after we have dried them, we need to grind the pineapple leaf fibers, because remember, we are working with nanomaterials. So nano means you are working with extremely small amount of the material. So we take that material and we combine it with some chemicals in the lab. And once we do that, we use that material as a reinforcement material in making those nanofiltration membranes. And again, as I did mention, we are in the process of patenting the technology. So I'm not going to be able to share exactly how we do all of that.
There's only so much you can give us. But looking at, this formula in which you are using, I mean, one would say that it really is cost effective, because you are essentially using pineapple waste here. Just take us through, the cost effectiveness of purifying water this way.
Okay, so the most important thing is that, number one, this is an eco-friendly alternative, because most of the time we use what we refer to as the traditional synthetic membranes. And these membranes, they are very expensive. And here we are proposing an eco-friendly alternative. And this method, it is biodegradable. And we do know that the biodegradability of this method, it has got some environmental concerns to it, because it offers those environmental solutions as well, because we are saying we are removing the waste, but at the same time, we are also trying to provide a solution, as well as including a value from the discarded waste. And also, one of the other benefits of using this method is that the durability of our material that we use, so that means the mechanical features of those nanofiltration membranes are quite good. And as I did mention also, it is biodegradable, so that means it reduces a lot of the environmental impact. And also it is cost effective, as you have also mentioned, because again, this is a agriculture byproduct, and therefore that means it is a sustainable raw material that we have access to. And another important feature is the fact that you can be able to modify these fibers. So once you modify them, so that means you can be able to enhance their filtration capabilities, and that basically allows you to be able to play around to see what are some of the other solutions that you can provide from the very same technology.
And what has been the reception from industry colleagues and just those in the water industry with this new innovation you have come up with?
Okay, I would say the receptive is great, but also remember, if you want to scale this up, so that means there are also some other things that you need to look at. That is the consistency as well as the quality control. Because if you are working with such fibers, the consistency and the performance of those membranes, it might vary. And this is all dependent on the material, because remember, these are natural fibers. And also, when we want to develop these processes, we need to make sure that these processes are efficient. That is number one. And also, the fabrication is also great, because for scalability as well as the commercial viability, we need to do all those tests. And these are ongoing tests.
Yeah.
And also to optimize the performance of these membranes. So that means that we need to play around with a lot of things. For example, if you are using this membrane, so that means you need to check constantly what is the fouling resistance, what is the selectivity, what are some of, so for example, if you are putting 100 mils of water into that membrane, how long would it take for that filtration to sort of like take place? And how much energy would it use, you know, if you are scaling it up? So those are the things that we are still trying to work around in order for us to be able to take it to the next step, which is the commercialization stage.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, a lot of work still needs to be done in that regard. But one would ask, I mean, if someone is from the Eastern Cape and is watching this interview right now and is probably asking themselves, how soon can this technology be actually, you know, rolled out to communities who are really in desperate need of filtered water?
Okay, I would say that we are still trying to conduct some pilot studies as well to sort of like try and evaluate the performance of these membranes. And until all of that is done, that is the only time we'll be able to offer this solution in real world water treatment scenarios. So for now, I would say that everybody would just have to keep on giving us the support so that we are able to conduct these pilot studies successfully, because we do require a lot of funding for that. And as I did mention, also with the optimization stages, there's still a lot of work that we need to do, and all of that, it requires, you know, a little bit of funding to get us going and to move from the lab scale and get it into the commercial scale. But I would say that it is quite promising.
All right, Dr. Zikhona, thank you so much for your time. That is Dr. Zikhona Tywabi-Ngeva. Of course, she is the scientist there, the lead scientist there, researching this new innovation. Of course, this innovation being in regards to how to purify water using discarded pineapple leaves.